Good day, everyone. I am Eric Phil Estrada, and today I will be discussing the tools of an editor and common editing marks. The sequence of my presentation is as shown. First, we will discuss the tools of the editor, followed by the marks of an editor, and lastly, the key takeaways. In this topic, the tools of an editor, we will discuss the common tools that an editor uses. So I classify these tools into classical tools and the digital tools. So let's take a look at the classical tools of an editor. First, we have the dictionary, which is the editor's best friend. It helps us to check correct spelling, verify proper word usage, learn word origins for better understanding. So, if you're unsure about a word, always consult a trusted dictionary. Then we have a style book. A style book is a comprehensive guide of established conventions for writing, grammar, punctuation, and style. So this is used in various fields like journalism, publishing, and even within specific organizations. It tells us how to abbreviate words, how to punctuate correctly, when to spell out numbers or use numerals. So different organizations often have their own style books, and the most well-known is the Associated Press style book, the Chicago and MLA. Another example is a thesaurus. So when a word feels repetitive or dull, a thesaurus helps us find a more suitable synonym. Meanwhile, a book of idiomatic expressions, another example, ensures idioms are used correctly, which is important, especially for a non-native speakers. Then we have the almanacs and encyclopedias. So these tools are excellent fact-checking tools. If a manuscript mentions dates, statistics, or trivia, so these resources help confirm accuracy. An editor may also use directories for checking names and organizations. An example of these are white pages for personal names, yellow pages for businesses by category, and city directories for historical and local business information. And also, an editor can use the morgues. These are actually an archives of photographs, newspapers, and magazines. This can be used by editors to verify past events and quotes. An example of this is the New York Times archival library, as shown in the picture. So let's move on to the digital tools of an editor. So an example of this are word processors with track changes, and like the Microsoft Word and Google Docs. So these are softwares used for creating, editing, saving, and printing documents. Also, this allows collaboration without altering the original text. So this is very useful for editors. Also, another tool, very useful, the grammar and style checkers. An example of this is the Grammarly and Hemingway app. So these softwares catch errors and improve readability. Another example is plagiarism checkers, like the Turnitin and Copyscape. So these tools ensures originality and avoid copyright issues. Then editors may also use online resources. An example of these are online style guides like the AP Style Book Online and Chicago Manual of Style. Also, another example is a language corpus tools like the Google Ngram Viewer and Coca. These tools are used to check words or phrases on how they are used in real world scenarios. Technical glossaries and terminology databases. So these softwares or tools are used for industry specific writing, such as like media, which are used for medical terminologies. Also, we have UN term, or that stands for the United Nations Terminology Database for International Diplomacy and Law. Then we have fact-checking resources. These tools are used by editors to check the accuracy of data. An example of these are specialized databases such as Statista and PubMed. So these are used for reliable statistics and studies. Then we have verification websites like Snoops and factcheck.org. So this is to confirm claims and quotations. For teamwork and project management, editors may use collaborative and workflow tools. So an example is Trello, Asana, and Notion. And lastly, for design, layout, and markup, editors may use formatting and annotation tools like Adobe InDesign, Canva, and Adobe Acrobat. So regardless of what an editors use, like traditional printed references or digital resources, so beyond these tools, an editor must possess an open mind, recognizing that there are countless ways to enhance a document through the editing process. So, in this topic, we will discuss the marks of an editor. So, these marks are used by an editor to show exactly what needs to be changed in a publication. So, these marks saves time and avoid confusion between editor and writer. Let's take a look at the most common editing marks and what they mean. The examples shown are marks for deletion, insertion to include spell out and abbreviate. These are the examples shown are editing marks that deal with numbers and word order, such as set in numerals, spell out numbers, transpose letters, transpose words, and insert space. Another examples, the following are marks that help fix capitalization and punctuation, such as the capitalize, use lowercase, insert quotation marks, insert apostrophe, insert comma, and insert period. And lastly, these marks affect formatting and layout. The examples are center text, indent for a paragraph, set in boldface, set in italics, set in all caps, set in caps lowercase, end of article, and disregard correction. Let's take a look on some examples. Example number one, the corrections of this sentence is we put a mark on the word dog to use a lowercase for letter D. We deleted the phrase has such a large number of fleas and put the correct spelling on that phrase. Then lastly, we cross out or we delete he and use the appropriate pronoun. The last example, the grammar of the sentence is clearly wrong. So, as an editor, we do not hesitate to rewrite a sentence if we feel there's no way of salvaging it. So, as you can see in the example, It is very grammarly wrong. But a word of caution when you have to rewrite a sentence, make sure that you don't change the meaning of the original sentence. So, to wrap it up, for the past 10 minutes, we discussed that editors use a combination of traditional and modern tools. They also use editing marks to clearly communicate changes. And this is for the ultimate goal of achieving clarity, correctness, and consistency in writing. So I hope that you learned something from these topics. And this concludes my presentation. Please feel free to ask any questions or seek clarification. You can post these queries on the discussion forum. Thank you, and once again, good day to everyone.